It is a full-blown crisis on the lots. Trucks are stacking up, dealers are slashing prices, and buyers, they are staying far, far away. Today, we are diving into the 14 pickup trucks that dealerships cannot move, no matter how desperate they get. Some are too expensive, some are too outdated, and a few, they were doomed from day one. If you are thinking about buying a truck in 2025, this list might just save you from a huge mistake. Nissan Titan. At its core, the Nissan Titan was envisioned as a bold challenger to Detroit's ironclad hold over the full-size pickup market. Armed with a powerful 5,600 cubic centimeter V8 engine, a rugged frame, and towing specs that promised serious muscle, the Titan had the ambition to disrupt an industry long dominated by names like Ford, Ram, and Chevrolet. Nissan poured resources into marketing, offering a truck that could deliver real power without the inflated price tags often associated with American brands. However, the market had other ideas. Despite its respectable horsepower and torque figures, the Titan struggled to carve out an identity in a fiercely loyal segment. Pickup truck buyers are not just buying machines, they are buying traditions, family legacies, and decades of brand loyalty. Nissan, no matter how capable its engineering, could not break through those walls. Dealerships found themselves sitting on growing inventories, even as they slashed prices, bundled in free maintenance packages, and offered extended warranties. In the year 2023, Nissan finally pulled the plug, officially discontinuing the Titan. The moment that announcement hit, buyer confidence evaporated almost overnight. Shoppers immediately questioned parts availability, service support, and, most importantly, resale value. No one wants to be left holding the keys to a discontinued model with an uncertain future. Now, Titans gather dust in dealership lots across the country, with incentives that would have once sounded outrageous. $5,000 off sticker price, 0% financing for 84 months, even loyalty bonuses. None of it is enough to revive interest. But if you think a dead truck is bad, wait until you see one that never truly lived. Ford Ranger. This truck once occupied a sweet spot in the truck world, smaller and more affordable than the mighty F-150, yet tougher and more capable than a compact utility vehicle. Its turbocharged 2,300 cubic centimeter four-cylinder engine delivers 270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. Impressive numbers for a mid-size pickup. On paper, the Ranger seems like a smart choice. Excellent towing capacity for its class, a durable chassis, modern tech features, and strong safety ratings. It should have been a winner, yet reality has been far less kind. The Ford Ranger finds itself awkwardly trapped between its own siblings. On one side, there is the Ford Maverick, a budget-friendly compact pickup boasting hybrid efficiency and city-friendly dimensions that have captured the imagination of new buyers. On the other side, there is the legendary Ford F-150, the king of full-size trucks with unmatched brand loyalty and proven capabilities. Sandwiched between these two stars, the Ranger struggles to define a clear identity. Buyers walk into showrooms expecting either affordability or top-tier power. The Ranger offers neither at a price point that feels increasingly unjustifiable. It is not as cheap and trendy as the Maverick, nor as powerful and iconic as the F-150. As a result, dealership lots are filling with unsold Rangers, even as sales teams throw in free bed liners, towing packages, extended service plans, and cash incentives reaching several $1,000s. Despite these offers, interest remains lukewarm at best. The Ford Ranger is not a bad truck by any measure. It simply became invisible in a market that rewards clarity and strong branding. In today's crowded field, being forgotten is often worse than failing outright. And speaking of trucks trapped in limbo, the next one never escaped its past either. Chevrolet Silverado 1500. For decades, the Chevrolet Silverado 1500 was seen as the no-nonsense working man's pickup truck, a true staple of American roads, farms, and job sites. Its reputation was built on rugged durability, straightforward design, and an engine lineup that could handle real-world tasks without blinking. Whether it was hauling timber, towing trailers, or just enduring the daily grind, the Silverado was known for being a reliable partner that delivered exactly what it promised: honest muscle at a reasonable price. But today, that reputation is under siege. The Chevrolet Silverado 1500 has not evolved fast enough to keep pace with an industry and a consumer base that demands far more than just brute strength. The last full redesign arrived in the year 2019, and since then, the truck has fallen further behind every year. Higher trims, once celebrated for their extra comfort and added capability, now feel overpriced and underwhelming. Buyers expect a certain level of polish when they are spending over $60,000 on a new truck, and the Silverado's hard plastics, clunky infotainment system, and dated cabin layout simply do not deliver. Even generous discounts, often exceeding $5,000 off the manufacturer's suggested retail price, have not been enough to reignite serious interest. The Chevrolet Silverado 1500 can still get the job done, no question. It is a strong, capable pickup. But in a market where expectations have evolved, muscle alone is no longer enough. Without meaningful updates, the Silverado now finds itself struggling to convince buyers that it belongs in the 2020s, not trapped in the past. But if Silverado's stumbles surprised you, the next truck's failure is almost legendary. We scanned dealership data, sales reports, and insider bulletins to find these trucks. If you value real research over rumors, hit subscribe. Honda Ridgeline. Blending comfort, efficiency, and utility, this pickup suits modern drivers with light-duty hauling needs perfectly. It even boasts clever engineering touches, like a dual-action tailgate and an in-bed trunk for extra storage. Features that should make it a runaway hit among suburban families and do-it-yourself enthusiasts. Under the hood, the Honda Ridgeline packs a 3,500 cubic centimeter V6 engine that delivers 280 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque. Paired with a 9-speed automatic transmission and standard all-wheel drive, it promises a driving experience that is more refined than your typical rough-and-tumble pickup. On paper, it all sounds incredibly compelling. However, when it comes to pickup trucks, perception matters just as much as performance. And this is where the Ridgeline stumbles hard. Built on a unibody platform shared with the Honda Pilot Sport utility vehicle, the Ridgeline does not behave like a traditional truck. Despite Honda's best efforts to entice buyers with 0% financing, free maintenance packages, and generous accessory bundles, the Ridgeline continues to gather dust on dealership lots. Discounts are growing steeper, promotions louder, but buyer interest remains ice cold. The Ridgeline is a smart, well-engineered vehicle. It just is not the pickup truck that traditional buyers want. And in a competitive market where image and identity matter as much as capability, that mismatch is fatal. And while Honda's truck forgot what it was, the next pickup tried too hard to be everything at once: Toyota Tundra. For years, buyers flocked to the Tundra because it represented simplicity. A full-size truck that avoided unnecessary complexity and delivered unwavering dependability. Powered by a naturally aspirated 8-cylinder engine, it won over hard-working owners who wanted muscle without maintenance nightmares. For a long time, Toyota's strategy worked. It carved out a loyal following that trusted the Tundra to perform year after year with minimal drama. However, in the year 2022, everything changed. Toyota made a bold move, dropping the proven 8-cylinder power plant in favor of a twin-turbocharged 6-cylinder hybrid setup, displacing 3,445 cubic centimeters. On paper, the new system offered impressive numbers: 437 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque. Performance skyrocketed, efficiency improved, and the spec sheets glowed with potential. But longtime Tundra buyers were not impressed. The complexity of turbochargers, hybrid batteries, and electronic systems raised serious concerns about long-term reliability and maintenance costs. Suddenly, the straightforward workhorse had become a high-tech gamble. Worse yet, the price climbed sharply. Entry-level Tundras were no longer the affordable, rugged value they once were. Buyers faced sticker shock, even with basic trims. The backlash was swift. Many traditional truck buyers turned away, feeling abandoned by a brand that once stood for rugged simplicity. Dealerships responded with aggressive loyalty rebates, extended warranties, and steep cash discounts. In some regions, markdowns exceeded several $1,000s. Yet, despite the incentives, interest has remained tepid. The Tundra's radical reinvention alienated the very customers who made it successful, leaving dealerships scrambling to move inventory. But if new technology scared away buyers here, old-school stubbornness did it even worse elsewhere. Ram Classic. At one time, the Ram Classic captured hearts as a no-frills, honest-to-goodness full-size pickup. It was reliable, rugged, and affordable. 3 words that once defined success in the truck world. However, time has a way of exposing stubbornness. Originally launched as the outgoing generation of the Ram 1500, the Ram Classic was supposed to retire gracefully when the new model debuted in the year 2019. Instead, Ram kept it alive as a budget option. At first it worked. Budget-conscious buyers appreciated the value. But year after year, as competitors modernized, the Classic stayed frozen in time. Today, the Ram Classic feels like a relic. Its cabin is filled with hard plastics, small screens, and outdated controls. The truck is powered by a 3,650 cubic centimeter 6-cylinder engine, delivering 305 horsepower and 269 pound-feet of torque, or an optional 5,700 cubic centimeter 8-cylinder, producing 395 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque. These specs are respectable on paper, but real-world impressions tell a different story. Modern truck buyers expect more: better interiors, smarter technology, and improved refinement, even in entry-level models. The Ram Classic simply cannot compete. Dealers across the United States are now offering huge discounts, with markdowns exceeding $5,000, bundled with 0% financing and free maintenance packages. And speaking of trucks that refuse to die, the next one shows what happens when brands dress up failure in chrome. GMC Sierra 1500. The GMC Sierra 1500 was supposed to be the polished, premium alternative to the rugged Chevrolet Silverado. It wore bold chrome accents, aggressive grille designs, and carried the weight of the upscale GMC badge. Buyers were promised a full-size pickup that blended muscle with a refined, almost luxurious driving experience. At first glance, the Sierra seemed to deliver exactly that. Under the hood, buyers could choose from powerful 8-cylinder options or turbocharged engines. Inside the cabin, upgraded materials and newer technology features set it apart, or so it appeared. However, once you dig deeper, the Sierra's glitter starts to fade. Mechanically, it is almost identical to the Silverado. The chassis, the powertrain, the towing capacity, all nearly the same. The supposed luxury comes down to minor cosmetic upgrades and a slightly quieter ride. Today, dealership lots are overflowing with unsold Sierras. Incentives are stacking up fast. In some regions, discounts have reached $6,000 off the manufacturer's suggested retail price, paired with extended financing terms and bonus accessory bundles. Yet even with these generous offers, buyers are walking away. They are not just rejecting the price, they are rejecting the idea that a badge and some chrome are worth a significant premium. In 2025, truck buyers are demanding authenticity, real capability, real quality, real value. And the Sierra 1500 simply does not deliver it. But if chrome and polish failed here, the next pickup failed because it forgot about the basics altogether. Nissan Frontier. Simple, durable, and reliable, the Frontier carved a niche among buyers who wanted a no-nonsense mid-size truck that could take a beating and keep going. It was beloved for its ruggedness, ease of maintenance, and wallet-friendly price. In a world of increasingly complicated trucks, the Frontier stood proudly as a reminder of what pickups were originally meant to be: tough, dependable workhorses. However, while the automotive world evolved at lightning speed, Nissan left the Frontier behind. For more than a decade, the Frontier sat virtually unchanged. No major redesigns, no major technology upgrades, no refreshed styling to keep it competitive. Meanwhile, rivals like Ford, Toyota, and Chevrolet rolled out fresh, cutting-edge trucks with smarter interiors, advanced safety tech, and sleek new designs. The Frontier slowly slipped from buyers' memories, becoming the forgotten option in a growing field of modern choices. When the long-overdue redesign finally arrived in the year 2022, expectations were sky-high. The new Frontier brought a modern look, updated safety features, and a 3,870 cubic centimeter six-cylinder engine, delivering 310 horsepower and 281 pound-feet of torque. But in reality, it was too little. Too late. Years of neglect had eroded trust. Buyers had already moved on. Today, dealerships are drowning in unsold Frontiers. Cash incentives sometimes top $5,000, with 0% long-term financing offers tacked on. Despite these aggressive promotions, interest remains ice cold. The Frontier may be better than ever, but in 2025, buyers are choosing brands that never made them wait this long for progress. And while Nissan waited too long to evolve, the next truck changed everything and paid the price. Ford F-150 Lightning. This truck arrived with the kind of hype that few vehicles ever achieve. It was meant to symbolize a new era of American trucks, one where strength, speed, and sustainability coexisted in a single groundbreaking package. On paper, the Lightning dazzled. With up to 580 horsepower and 775 pound-feet of torque, it could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 4 seconds. The towing capacity pushed up to 10,000 pounds, rivaling and in some cases exceeding traditional gasoline-powered competitors. Ford positioned the Lightning as the perfect blend of rugged capability and electric innovation, wrapped inside the best-selling truck lineage in American history. At launch, anticipation was electric, pun intended. Buyers envisioned a future where their trucks charged at home, sprinted like sports cars, and tackled worksite duties without a drop of fuel. However, reality came crashing in fast. The biggest and most glaring issue was range anxiety. Ford advertised up to 320 miles on a full charge, but real-world tests, especially when towing or hauling heavy loads, revealed a brutal truth. Then came the pricing. As options and trim levels stacked up, many Lightnings crossed the $100,000 threshold. For working-class truck buyers, even generous federal tax credits and dealership incentives could not make the math work. Inventories began piling up. Some dealerships are now offering discounts of up to $15,000 just to move them. Ford's electric gamble has not paid off, at least not yet. But if electrification challenges the future, some brands cannot even keep up with today. Jeep Gladiator. Jeep promised buyers the best of both worlds. The off-road prowess of a Wrangler combined with the practicality of a midsize pickup. For a while it worked. The Gladiator stood out in a crowded market dominated by traditional trucks. It offered removable doors, solid axles, and trail-ready toughness that no competitor could match. Adventure seekers, overlanders, and die-hard Jeep fans flocked to showrooms, eager for a vehicle that could climb rocks on the weekend and haul gear during the week. Underneath the rugged image sat a 3,650 cubic centimeter V6 engine, producing 285 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. However, the daily realities of living with a Gladiator painted a much harsher picture. On pavement, the Gladiator struggles badly. Steering feels vague, the ride is jittery, and cabin noise becomes overwhelming at highway speeds. For commuters and everyday drivers, the compromises are simply too painful. Over time, the Gladiator's niche appeal narrowed even further. Meanwhile, competitors like the Ford Ranger and Toyota Tacoma launched refreshed models with smoother rides, quieter cabins, and updated technology, all while maintaining respectable off-road credentials. Jeep, by contrast, did very little to modernize the Gladiator beyond minor cosmetic updates. Now, dealerships are offering aggressive cash incentives, free accessories like bedliners and off-road gear, and even 0% long-term financing options to clear out inventory. Yet, interest continues to wane, even among loyalists. Meanwhile, another classic brand tried a comeback and face-planted even faster. Chevrolet Colorado. After years of coasting on an aging design, Chevrolet gave the Colorado a full redesign that immediately caught attention. The Chevrolet Colorado arrived with a bold promise to dominate the midsize truck segment with fresh styling, serious off-road capabilities, and more technology than ever before. On first glance, it seemed like a home run. The exterior was aggressive, the interior finally felt modern, and the engine under the hood, a turbocharged four-cylinder measuring 2,700 cubic centimeters, produced an impressive 310 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque. For buyers looking for an adventurous truck that could tow, haul, and hit the trails without sacrificing everyday usability, the new Colorado seemed like a dream come true. Rugged trim levels like the ZR2 variant turned heads. Chevrolet even backed it with new technology like a larger infotainment touchscreen, enhanced driver assistance systems, and better off-road driving modes. It checked every box enthusiasts had been asking for. But then reality set in. The sticker price shattered expectations, and not in a good way. Chevrolet priced the Colorado so aggressively that even base models came in thousands of dollars higher than what shoppers were accustomed to paying. Fully equipped versions could easily push into pricing territory once reserved for premium full-size trucks. The shock was immediate and widespread. Potential buyers who had waited years for a redesigned Colorado walked into showrooms, took one look at the numbers, and turned around. And while Chevrolet priced itself out of the midsize market, another brand is learning the same hard lesson: GMC Canyon. Aiming for upscale appeal, it matched the Colorado's capability with added refinement, comfort, and prestige. It carried the upscale General Motors Company badge proudly, with a bolder grille, chrome accents, and an interior featuring upgraded materials compared to its sibling. For buyers seeking a rugged mid-size truck without sacrificing luxury, the Canyon promised to be the perfect answer. Its turbocharged four-cylinder engine, displacing 2,700 cubic centimeters, delivered the same potent 310 horsepower and a best-in-class 430 pound-feet of torque. Performance was never the issue. Inside, the Canyon offered premium touches like stitched leather seating, a quieter cabin experience, and a more polished infotainment system. Buyers stepping up to the Denali or AT4X trims were promised a premium experience more aligned with what a full-size luxury truck would offer, just in a smaller footprint. However, once again, the problem came down to price. The Canyon's costs soared well beyond expectations. Shoppers quickly realized that underneath the extra polish, the Canyon shared most of its DNA with the Colorado, including the same chassis, the same powertrain, and nearly identical towing numbers. Paying several thousand additional dollars for minor cosmetic upgrades and slightly quieter ride quality made little sense to most buyers. But at least the Canyon tried to offer a premium experience. The next truck does not even know what it wants to be. Hyundai Santa Cruz. At first glance, the Hyundai Santa Cruz seems like the perfect blend of practicality and fun. Hyundai marketed the Santa Cruz as the ideal vehicle for adventurous urban drivers who needed something more versatile than a sport utility vehicle, but less bulky than a traditional pickup truck. Its compact dimensions make it easy to park in city environments, while the open bed provides enough hauling capability for weekend projects and trips to the hardware store. The ride is smooth, the interior is modern, and the technology is up to date. Hyundai even emphasized its impressive handling and nimble driving dynamics, qualities rarely associated with pickups. However, once buyers dug deeper, the cracks in the Santa Cruz's armor started to show. Traditional truck shoppers expect strength, ruggedness, and serious towing capacity. The Santa Cruz, built on a crossover chassis rather than a body-on-frame platform, simply cannot compete in those areas. Its towing capacity, while adequate for light loads, falls far short compared to mid-size competitors like the Toyota Tacoma or the Ford Ranger. Off-road ability is almost non-existent outside of the most basic dirt trails. For buyers needing real utility, the Santa Cruz feels more like a glorified sport utility vehicle, with an open cargo bed than a true truck. Despite Hyundai offering generous incentives, including cashback offers, 0% financing, and bundled maintenance packages, the Santa Cruz continues to sit unsold on many dealership lots. Buyers looking for a real truck consistently bypass it in favor of more capable alternatives. But confusion is one thing, outright rejection is another. Let us get to the number one spot, Ford Maverick Tremor. This model made waves when it launched, offering something revolutionary in the truck market: a compact, affordable pickup with outstanding fuel economy, a hybrid option, and real practicality for everyday drivers. The base Maverick quickly became a sensation, winning over budget-conscious shoppers, young buyers, and those wanting a smaller, simpler truck. Ford managed to blend versatility, clever packaging, and value into a single, accessible vehicle that felt exactly right for the times. However, when Ford introduced the Ford Maverick Tremor, things didn't go as planned. On paper, the Maverick Tremor should have been a hit. It added off-road capabilities, rugged styling touches, and a more adventurous spirit to the already successful Maverick formula. Upgrades included an advanced all-wheel drive system, specialized off-road driving modes, a lifted suspension, and skid plates. It was aimed squarely at buyers wanting a tougher version of the beloved Maverick. In reality, most buyers were not interested. The problem was twofold. First, the Tremor package pushed the Maverick's price significantly higher, eroding the budget appeal that had made the base model such a hit. Fully equipped Maverick Tremor models often climbed well into the mid-$30,000 range, dangerously close to larger, more capable pickups. Second, despite the upgrades, the Maverick Tremor remained a light-duty, unibody-based truck, not a serious off-roader. And there you have it. 14 pickups that dealerships are practically giving away right now. Which one would you still consider if the price was right? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more insider truck breakdowns like this, be sure to subscribe.